Hi everybody and welcome to another episode from the Board Game Man. Today we're going to look at a game from 1990. It's 2 to 4 players. It is from University Games. If you like the type of games like Clue, Detective, all that good stuff, well this is the episode for you. It is the Dick Tracy game. So let's head on over to the gamers table and I'll show you how to play. Hello everybody and welcome to the Gamers Table. Here we have the components of the game. We have the board here. We also have 6, which I think at the beginning I said 2 to 4 players. It's actually 2 to 6. I didn't realize that until I opened this up and it said 2 or more players on the box. So I didn't realize it was 6, so my bad. But you can see these player pieces actually have like a silhouette of Dick Tracy on them. So those are really neat. So you get 6 of those, you get 1 die. You get a deck of weapon, crime, and Dick Tracy cards. You also get a spinner, and this is when you go up against the criminal. This is the weapon that you'll have against the criminal, so that depends whether you defeat the criminal or not. You also have the instruction booklet, which is right here, and it really good reading. It's very easy to understand once you read through it. You also have this really cool insert, which I think was really nice. Look at the illustrations in there from the movie. And I like the way University Games puts all their... Here's some other games we sold. Here you go. So I mean, that's kind of funny how they did that. But I like the illustrations and the cityscape on the side of the box, too. That's pretty cool. I like that. The skyline. And then you also have the hideout packets. And you put each one... It looks like they remind me of little albums, like little records. So it's kind of cool. Each criminal will get one of these. And you'll place them on the board like so, which I'll go ahead and do for you now. What you do when you go to start the setup, which I'll do right now, is you're going to take a weapon and a crime card and put them in each one of the criminal's packets. So you'll see here, I already did that prior to this, you put a crime card and a weapon card in that order. The crime goes in the middle and then the weapon goes in the back. And you're going to go ahead and place these. You can see there's pictures of all the villains here. And they're going to correspond to the villain that's in here. That's why the circle's in the front. You want to make sure the villain's face is always facing out front. So we're going to go ahead and do this. So you're going to put these in each one of the criminal's spots. But you want to make sure you put them somewhere you don't block the path here. Sometimes you want to just do this, but you make sure you don't block the path. So we got this. So you're pretty much covering the criminal's face for the most part, and most of these. Okay, we're going to go ahead and do a 3-player. Even though I'm not really going to do a full 3-player thing. I'm going to go ahead and take these 3 out. That way you can see those colors better. Because all my previous games, you probably haven't noticed, but every single game I do, if there's a blue token, I always play with the blue token first. Dodger fan, Dodger blue, that kind of thing. Blue's my favorite color, but it's so blue in this game, I figured it would kind of blend in, it'd be hard to see. So I'll go ahead and take it out, and we'll go ahead and leave the black, white, and green out there. And black and white are not really two common colors, so it's kind of cool that you have those 2 of the colors. But anyhow, let's go ahead and get to the game. Let me go over a couple of the spaces that are on the board. Obviously the Dick Tracy's, obviously you land on one of those, you get a Dick Tracy card. That's pretty self-explanatory. Some of the cards you do right away, some of them you use at a later time when the time comes for them. You also have these little keyholes. The keyholes allow you to get into those sections that most of these are for criminals. So you see if you land at the warehouse and here, you do not have to land on an exact roll to use them. So say you're right here and you want to roll a 4, you can just go 1, 2, 3, and then you can go ahead and decide if you want to fight the criminal or not. Then you have these little red spaces. There's 4 of them at each corner. And these are subway spaces. Now you do not have to use these if you land on them. You do have to land by an exact roll. So say you land on this, it'll say for the Opera House, which is across the way, like diagonally. That's pretty much how the other ones are too. So you go from Opera House to here, go from the Opera House to the warehouse. Same with City Hall goes 7th Street, and 7th Street goes to City Hall. So that's, and what you'll do is if you land on this and say you want to go to the Opera House, you'll finish your roll, you'll wait until your turn comes up again, then you'll move over here and then you do your roll, and then you go 1, 2, 3, whatever your roll was. Okay, so that's how the subways work. The gray spaces are just regular safe spaces, but something does happen if an opponent lands on your same space you do. And I'll go over that in one moment as well. So those are the spaces on the board. Not too many spaces to deal with on here. It's pretty simple. So let's go ahead and discuss how to capture a criminal. So when you capture a criminal, let's go ahead and show you how that works. So say you want to come over here, you want to go up against Big Boy Caprice over here in the South Side warehouse. What you're going to do is if you land on it, you want to go up against him, you're going to turn it over, where it says weapon. You can see the weapon sticking out. You're going to slide this out, and it's going to show what he is, brass knuckles. If you decide, you do not have to go up against that person, that criminal, if you don't want to. But if you do, you're going to announce to everybody, he has brass knuckles, okay? Then what you're going to do is you're going to spin the spinner. That's when the spinner comes into handy. You're going to spin the spinner, bomb. So you definitely have beat him. Now let me tell you I guess I should have told you that before, the order in which the strongest from the weakest. Bomb is the strongest one you can go up against. So you see the bomb, and then it goes lower and lower as the wheel goes around. So bomb is the strongest one. Then you have bath, machine gun, gun, brass knuckles, and then the fist is the least strongest. And if you don't remember, it actually is in the instruction booklet right here. It's actually in bold, and it tells you the order from strongest to weakest right there. But it is nice that they put it in order on the spinner. So that makes it really, really nice and very, very easy to remember. So that's actually pretty darn cool. Now, so say we beat him there. So what happens is you're going to take this in your possession and stick it in front of you. Okay? So now he's in your possession. And what you have to do is you're trying to deposit him in jail. Now, you can hang on to him as long as you want. It doesn't matter. But you don't get the points until you deposit him in the jail, which obviously you have to land on the keyhole in the police station. And once you do that, you're dropping off, or I should say you're depositing, that's what it says, depositing the criminals in jail. So at that point, what you would do is you would take the criminal card, you place them on the jail, okay? Then you would take the weapon, and you put it on the bottom of the stack, you put it back in the stack. Then you take the crime card that's out of here, and you'll get the points for what the crime is. In this case, it's a hit. He did a hit, so you get 100 points for that criminal. These points stay with you the rest of the game. No one can take the points away from you. Once you deposit them in jail, you're good to go. And just like that, you get 100 points for the game. Okay, so that's how that works. Now, what happens if you lose to the criminal? If you lose to the criminal, so in this case, the only thing you can lose to him is the fist, because if you tie the criminal, Dick Tracy wins. Dick Tracy wins all ties. If you lose, then you will go to the hospital. And once you go to the hospital, all you do is you lose one turn. Okay? So if you lose the criminal, you get thrown in the hospital, you stay there a day, and then when your turn comes around again, the second time, then you can go ahead and start out with the keyhole here, and then you go on your merry way. That's all that happens when you lose. Okay, now, let's go over the Dick Tracy cards. When you land on a Dick Tracy card, there is some other cards in here. Let's go ahead and show you. I had these in order, and I had to redo this. Let's see, here we go. The Bomb Squad card. The Bomb Squad, what happens here is if you go up against a criminal that has a bomb, which is the strongest one, if you have this lucky card in your possession, you can go ahead and play the Bomb Squad card, and you do not have to spin the spinner. You automatically capture him. So that's really cool. Same with Escape the Bath. If he has the Bath weapon card, you can go ahead and use this, and you don't have to use a spinner. You automatically capture him. You only have these for the top two weapons, so they don't have them for every weapon. So you're going to have to spin most of the time. But if you have the Escape the Bath or the Bomb Squad, you just use the appropriate one, and you're good. You're good to go. You also have the Quick Healer card. This is almost like a get out of jail free card when it comes to Monopoly. What you're doing is if you go to the hospital, you play this card, you do not have to skip a turn. You're right back out because you're a quick healer. All right, there's that card. You also have the Prisoner Escapes from your player to your right. So what happens is when you capture him, like I said earlier, you keep him here. If the player on your left draw this card, guess what? You no longer have him in your possession. He goes right back out into the wild, and he's right back in the warehouse again. So he is not safe with you until he gets dropped off into the jail. So this might come up as well. This is actually pretty cool. It's the squad card takes your criminals to jail. So that is actually cool. So when you have any criminals that you have captured, this card allows you where you don't have to go all the way back to the jail and drop them off. You get this card, it automatically gets dropped off, and you get to stay in the space that you're in and continue on. So that's actually not a bad card to have as well. This is a quick little easy card, Criminal Surrenders. You get this, you get 50 points, just like that, and you can put that with your other points. You stick it right in your stash there, and there you go, 50 points for you. Who knows, in this game, that's all might be all you need right there. So that's a nothing you have to do with that one. There's also a Jailbreak Card. This has 2 criminals escape from jail. So if you have 2 criminals sitting there, guess what? They come back out. And of course, you'll probably have a couple of these available. So you have to put them back in there. You draw a new weapon card and a new crime card and put it back in there, and they go right back where they were before. That's 2 of them. So that's if someone grabs this card. And then the last card that they have in here is the Prisoner Exchange. So say some other player wants to exchange prisoners with you, which is kind of interesting because you don't know how many points you get until you throw them in jail. So they might want to just switch with you just because maybe they like flat top more than they like big boy. I don't know. But this one, you just do a prisoner exchange and that's it. So you kind of swap prisoners. And that's pretty much it. So there's a couple duplicates in here about the other ones, but that's pretty much the Dick Tracy cards when you land on those. So you can see some of them you use right away. Some you hold on to until you need to use them. So that's that. If a player lands on the same space as you, they can actually take one of these hideout packets from you. Just like that. So that's another reason why you want to try to get them in jail. Not because they can escape from you, but if another player lands in the same space you do, they can take any one of these. If you have like 3 of them here, they can choose whatever one they want to take from you. And that's it. So that can be kind of brutal out there, especially if you have 6 players out there and you're landing on each other's spots. And these things are going back and forth. So that's what happens when you land on the same space as another player, is you get to choose one of these hideout packets and take them from them. Okay. Now, the game ends once all the criminals have been captured and thrown in jail. The game does not end until everyone lands on that keyhole and everyone's in jail. Because on the way back, someone could draw a Dick Tracy card and jailbreak, and 2 of them can come out. So, or one of them can escape from you. So as soon as everybody's in there and deposited, that's when you're going to go through all the cards and find out who has the most points. But there are 2 crime cards that you can lose points. Let me show you those 2. An ambush. Say you're on the way back and all of a sudden, boom, you get an ambush. Well, guess what? If you have this card and at the very end of the game and you go through and you're adding points and you have ambush, you will lose 25 points. And there's one other one, a false arrest. If you have this amongst yours, you can also lose 25 points for a false arrest. So you can lose up to 50 points if you're lucky enough to get those 2. I think those are the only 2 bad ones in the game. I think all the rest you actually do. You got breaking and entering, bombing, felony assault. There's all sorts of different crimes. But I believe these are the only 2 that you lose points on. And it's not that many points, but you never know. It can only take that. It's not like there's a super lot of points in this game, but you know what? Every point counts in this game. So just beware. I'd say beware of those 2, but you don't know because they're in the packets, or they might be in the stack here, and maybe nobody will lose any points. You never know. But that, my friends, is Dick Tracy, the board game. Like I said, the game ends once all of the criminals have been actually apprehended and thrown in jail. And once they're all in jail, you're going to go through all your crime cards, and whoever has the most points at the end of the game wins.